Welcome back, everybody. It's time to go to the losers match now. As SHIN, coming off of an incredible performance at DreamHack, is possibly going to get eliminated here. It's going to be SHIN versus GuMiho. GuMiho, you know, with what Bunny is doing, it looks like Bunny clearly is the best TV tier right now, probably in the GSL. So I'm not too worried. I think GuMiho could be in good shape. Yeah, I think this is going to be a close match, honestly. I don't know who's going to take this.
Yeah, I could see this going either way.
Yeah,
SHIN's got a very...
It's kind of all the matchups today. I'm like, well, it could be. I mean, it could be either or. I don't think there's necessarily a clear favorite in any of these. I think all these guys are pretty close in skill.
Yeah, if I knew that Bunny had this build, I would have put him as my favorite coming into this group. But on paper, it just feels very even. You know, SHIN is one of these more aggressive Zergs too. He likes to play with like a lower drone count. He really likes to take like the fight in the mid game. He's very powerful in the mid game. He always has been. But GuMiho, over the past couple of months, has just been a beast with the battle mech, cyclones, and hellions, and just slowly whittling down Zergs with kiting and micro. And that can be dangerous for somebody who really likes to lean heavily into roaches and ravagers. So I'm really interested in how these two playstyles are going to shake out. Guys, game number 1 is loading up. It's going to be Maganatha, loser of this series, out of the GSL.
Okay, GuMiho in the bottom right, SHIN in the top left. SHIN formerly known as Ragnarok.
Great idea, by the way. Surprising he changed it.
Yeah, I think in an interview he said like his family didn't know which one was him, so he changed his name to SHIN, which is his name.
I knew it was his family name.
I was like, well, just tell your family your name's Ragnarok. I mean, it's easy enough, man.
Give him a little note card.
Yeah. So write it down, right? That's my idea.
Here's my business card.
Yeah.
I'm Ragnarok.
So it's going to be Command Center first from GuMiho. I like it. We saw this from ByuN earlier. This build definitely trending right now in TVZ.
Almost feels like it's 2 years ago again with those 8-racks builds.
Yeah. A lot of these kind of power, you know, double eBay, quick 3 bases. I think that overall 8-racks build is so much better than just the 2 base timing push. Because getting a command center this fast allows you to get that third command center even faster, you know?
Yeah, I always thought this brand of TVZ was just very solid. Command center first.
Yeah, I'm not a Terran player myself, but I'm like, that's what I would do. You know what I mean?
I mean, we're Protoss players, so of course we're going to do the most
coin
flippy thing.
We're scumbag Protoss
We're
players.
We're going to do the most coin flippy thing. It's like, I'm either going to proxy 2 racks or I'm going to build a command center first. Nothing in between. But yeah, it is a very powerful approach. I'm thinking back to the last GSL, which sounds like a long time ago, but it was only a couple weeks ago, when Maru did, I don't know if it was the CC first opening, but he went really fast triple CC with Dumble Engineering Bay. I don't know if you recall this. And he basically died to roaches and ravagers, but was able to only secure the natural expansion. But at one point, he just had 3-3 bio and was able to win the game behind that. And so there's some real comeback potential, even with these greedy builds. If you get greed checked, if you play it right, you just play like Maru, you can sometimes still find a way to victory. So I love that we're seeing more command center first and greedy plays from Terrans like this. Usually also when this culminates in a timing attack, it's a much more potent timing attack because you just have more stuff.
Yep.
It might be lower tech, but sometimes, as ByuN has demonstrated earlier today in one of his games against SHIN, just hitting faster or hitting with more beats having a higher tech army.
Absolutely. So it's going to be a little bit slow to start this off unless the Zerg decides to do some kind of crazy all-in timing. There's that quick third command center. So, I mean, pure greed. The Overlord isn't going to get the scout this, by the way. Now, you might just, when you see a command center right away, you might just assume, okay, this is going to be, you know, a 3 base, 8 racks. I don't know if you necessarily have to, like, scout that and confirm. It's always better if you can. So I'm curious how exactly this is going to be dealt with. Now, there's 12 lings being made.
Yeah, that is a lot of lings.
Is he going to get any more than this? We have 2 drones. Were started before the Lings.
It might just be 12. You know, there is a chance here that GuMiho is not watching these very, very weak units, the Reaper and the first 2 Hellions.
Yeah, if you can run in there and just surround that, it's pretty good. And so I think that's what he's going to do.
Potentially also, GuMiho, if he moves across map, might just completely leave the natural mech.
Man.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on right now. And he is taking the long road all the way to the natural expansion here of GuMiho. GuMiho's entire forces probably be rallied. Even these next 2 Hellions might be coming cross map. There are, I think, at least 3 Queens out. Another one is about to finish. You should be able to deflect a small number.
Okay, they're going to run in now.
Oh, is there going to be a surround? Does GuMiho realize? Okay, he reacts really quickly. SCV is also getting pulled. They need a body block for these Hellions so they can land their splash damage. Really good control right now from GuMiho.
That was perfect.
This could have been a disaster for GuMiho, but instead, SHIN not really getting anything out of these Lings. I mean, if those first 2 Hellions get surrounded, then suddenly SHIN's building a little bit of momentum. Could probably find some more damage, maybe SCVs. That was well played by GuMiho.
So he's coming up now. Oh, doesn't get the evade block.
He couldn't get it. The Hellions, they just got in the wireframe. They blocked it. And now they're coming into the natural expansion. SHIN was so good with his drone control before. Right now they're getting blocked by the Queens. In total, only 7 of them actually going down. This could have been much worse here for SHIN. He still has a worker lead, but
GuMiho's in really good shape right now. He handled the Ling Rush perfectly, and then he actually counter-punched in with the Hellions, got value, got some drone kills. 7 is fine. You know, the Evo wall didn't get up in time. And we're going to continue to see GuMiho develop. Remember, that push is going to happen soon here.
Yeah, it's going to be mech again for GuMiho.
Yeah.
More Hellions being produced, 2 more factories just finishing up, an armory as well. And it's going to be battle mech. 4th factory, I believe, starting now on the production tab.
Okay, he's going to come up now.
Do we have a layer tech done yet? Oh, it's just about to finish.
Yeah, he's not. Okay, he's going to get some kills on these drones. Can't last for too long.
Ooh, might be able to get a couple more here in the main base. That spore quite far to the top right, but instead of pivot down here to the natural expansion.
The 2 Evo chambers are down here. It goes, and those are pretty late, by the way. I think when that attack hit in, it slowed him down from doing anything else.
All right, Banshee is going to escape. Is that another command center? That's another command center on the ground here for GuMiho, man. He is loving these 4 CCs.
Yep.
He's addicted to these 4 CCs.
He's hooked, man. But he's going to continue to power up. I think he's in a lot more control in this game than what we saw previously. I thought that SCV was going to be able to maybe citizens arrest that Ling.
I actually like this development a lot because when you play a battle mech style like this one, he's going to be getting vehicle plating. He's going to be getting some really powerful cyclones.
Yeah.
A large number of Hellions. He should have map control for the foreseeable future here against SHIN, at least for the next couple of minutes. So this 4th CC, I mean, absolutely, just keep reinvesting the extra money you got from that early CC first, that early 3rd command center, and compound that economic lead. SHIN is going to try and slow him down. There aren't a lot of units here to stop this Ling run by into the 3rd base. Raven now coming in, I thought, with some Hellions, but actually there aren't any Hellions in the natural expansion. They have to come all the way cross map. Just 2 SEs going down, a little bit of lost mining time, but SHIN does spot the 4th command center. Oh man, GuMiho throwing down 3 more factories. We might have a max GuMiho in like the next 3 or 4 minutes here. He's going to be pumping so many Hellions and so many Cyclones.
And this might be this kind of crazy mass Cyclone style where like you're just constantly kiting.
Oh, it will definitely be that.
Yeah. Small Metalings are going to try to counterattack over here. This is not a full wall here with the depots. I don't see anything over here, so I guess he's going to get some kills on those workers.
No, I just should have said the units from the natural expansion again, I think. No, not a supply depot! Oh, no. A little bit of a misclick there from GuMiho.
He's going to get like over 10 workers here. Yeah. That's insane to me.
Oh, man.
That's really bad for GuMiho. I mean, those Lings got so much value. They paid for themselves and more, and way slowed down the economy.
Yeah, just one little misclick there from GuMiho. I mean, that's the kind of thing you set and forget, right? Like, you have all these Hellions. You think you're A-moving them into the mineral line, but you actually just clicked on your own supply depot, and so they do not do their job, and 15 SCVs go down. Oh, that hurts there for GuMiho. Unlucky break.
Okay, so these Banshees are going to loop back around. He just needs to get a little bit of damage in here to try to equalize the losses that he got earlier.
Man, they zoom.
That
speed up
Ling run-in was like the most impactful part of the game here. Like, Shin's in very good shape. He does have an armor where he can start to come out here and try to take some fights as well.
If he can force GuMiho into a position where GuMiho can't kite him across map, like if Shin can walk all the way up to the 3rd base or the 4th base here of GuMiho, and not let the Terran kite for too long. Oh man, armor shredding missile plus all these cyclones is deadly. Shin is maxed. He wants to take this fight right now.
Yeah, he's going to move in here.
Split, isolating the Hellbats on the left side. They're going to have to retreat, but most of them fall actually before they can regroup here with the Cyclones. And Shin is basically cornering GuMiho back into the natural expansion. He has pushed him so far back into his base that the Cyclones, they're not really able to get that kiting value done. And so this is a pretty cost-effective trade here for Shin. You can just look at the supplies right now. He has the economy behind 76 drones to mostly remax here. Sacrificing some roaches at that 3rd base is a fantastic move. Kills 11 more SCVs. I think in total, maybe like 30 SCVs have died so far in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's funny though, you could see the resilience of having the Cyclones, right? Like, you can never really quite reach them. You know, they can move as far back as they need to go, and you'll never catch them unless you can pin them in the corner of the map. But he did kill a lot of SCVs at that base over there. And I don't feel like these two bases that are kind of at the exterior position here for GuMiho are very defendable. I feel like Shin could basically wind up and just do another attack like he's going to do right now and probably flatten those spots.
Oh, you know, I'm looking at this a little bit more. Actually, hold that thought. Shin, are you going to commit to this attack? He is. He's going to attack back into the 3rd base right now. Those Cyclones just, man, they are destroying these roaches on the front line, now connecting with the Hydras. But for Shin, it's kind of, you're between a rock and a hard place, right? Like if you kite back like this, because the Banshees have hyperflight rotors, they can move fast enough to give the vision to the Cyclones to maintain the lock-on.
Oh, that's a really good point.
I think that is a big part of this build. As long as he doesn't let them get sniped. Look at this. He doesn't even need to use he doesn't even need to use the scan all the time. This is such a brilliant addition. The hyperflight rotor Banshees. I had no. This was not on my radar.
Yeah, very fresh take on how to play this.
I wish I could see a battle report from that last fight. I feel like GuMiho lost basically nothing, and Shin lost 50 to 60 supply of army. That was just insane. Those Cyclones got so much value. I think Shin, because he killed so many SCVs, thought that GuMiho would be a little bit more scrappy back at home. That was not the case. GuMiho, give him credit. He lost maybe 30 SCVs so far in this game. But even after losing 30 SCVs, he was down at like 60 workers. He has not stopped SCV production basically until this point.
And he just seems like he can kite forever.
I mean, the scan plus the hyperflight rotor Banshee is just getting so much done.
There's infestors here, so he wants to go for a fungal to lock this in.
He's skirting right around the scan. Looping Hellion run by over here by this 4th base, getting a lot of drones. Shin needs to land fungals to lock these Cyclones down and actually kill them. But much easier said than done.
So, I mean, GuMiho can just keep expanding out. We don't see the answer yet for how to deal with this. I know that what Shin wants to do is try to get a fungal off, and if he can lock that in, he might be able to just completely obliterate it. You know, Hydras will just come through and gun that down. But, you know, there's a lot of distance right now between the Terran and the Zerg. And, you know, the creep spread is pretty meager. It's not like there's a ton out here for Shin, and that's in part because GuMiho's done a good job of controlling the map.
Part of the problem for Shin, though, is that, look at the base layout here at Maganatha. The next expansion has to be, unless you go for the top right base, much closer to the Terran. And GuMiho just getting so much value out of all of these units, now attacking the 9 o'clock position here. And she's even going to drop an auto turret. Those infestors a little bit late coming in to this fight. And the entire mineral line, I guess not the entire mineral line, those Banshees actually got more kills then. Yeah, look at this. I was wondering where these kills came from. Oh no, it's the rally from the main and the natural too. That is a brilliant spot to put him there for GuMiho.
Yeah, that's really sick.
Oh, things are just going so wrong here for Shin.
Yeah, he's falling apart here for sure. And GuMiho, he's going to have a lot more of the map. We haven't had a push that comes in and like wipes a base yet, but I think we're getting close. I mean, he's maxed out now. He's got to spend this money somewhere. Where are the infestors?
We only have a couple of them. I don't see them on screen right now.
He's got tanks here with this mix. So eventually he's going to have those tanks close enough that he can set up some kind of a foothold. We see the infestors coming around, but look, man, he's got to get this over here. He's got these infestors over here and actually take a fight.
This is just insane. I don't see how Shin could take an engagement against this. I just simply don't see it at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I'm like scratching my head trying to figure out like what exactly can he do. And now the tanks are sieged up, so that and Fungal's not going to help now. That's going to be it. GG GuMiho, absolute beast, shreds SHIN. SHIN had a couple strong moments early on, but I mean that comp, I am really puzzled as to how you're supposed to fight that correctly.
I don't have the answer.
He was very patient and not
know.
getting tanks, by the way. He wasn't getting tanks till he was about to max out. He's like, okay, the last 15 supply is going to be in these few tanks. We're going to push out, and we're going to kill him. SHIN keeping his sense of humor, but also maybe a little tilted here.
It's just such a tough composition to go up against.
It really is.
The scary thing behind that too is that GuMiho at the very end, he's getting a auto cannon. He added in additional starports. Like there was also a battle cruiser transition coming, so I mean GuMiho just using the battle mech to carry him through the early game and then getting siege tanks added in, mass expanding, taking all the way up to battle cruisers. He is mech in its final form. Now SHIN, it is match point. GuMiho, if he wins this map, he is going to face ByuN to decide who's going to go to the round of 8. SHIN fighting for his tournament life here in the GSL. Our map Takamak is loaded up. Let's continue on.
Okay, SHIN bottom left, GuMiho top right. Would not be shocked if GuMiho does that weird mech stuff again.
I feel like with GuMiho, it's weird if he doesn't go battle mech at this point.
Yeah. I feel like he's been meching more and more and more, by the way.
I mean, battle mech it's pretty good right now.
Yeah, it seems pretty strong. Yeah, looking at that composition, it's interesting. I'm glad that you pointed this out, State, because I wouldn't have appreciated it as well if you hadn't made this point, is that, the Banshees allow you to spot.
With his speed upgrade,
yeah.
I never...
Cyclone, it's already annoying when it targets something, right? But there is like a way. It's like, okay, well, if you can run away. But that makes it so much easier to just do that and just abuse those units. And you're not trading. I mean, that's the biggest thing is like, when you have two armies smash into each other, things are going to trade out. You're going to kill some of their stuff. They're going to kill some of your stuff. So whoever had the better army or controlled better even is going to come out ahead. But with that, you're not trading it at all. You're just killing their stuff with impunity.
Yeah, and the Cyclones, once they lock on, are very similar to the Siege Tank in that they can shoot a lot farther than they could see. And so usually what you'll see Terrans do is they will drop a scan if they have, quality enough lock-ons to make it worth the scan and being a scan instead of a mule, to confirm they get the vision and get as much damage as possible with those lock-ons. But when you have Hyperflight Rotor Banshees with it, as long as you can keep those Banshees alive, which becomes a lot easier once you have Cloak, well, then suddenly you have a lot more mules you can use because you don't need to scan the army during all those engagements. You only need to scan it in the niche moments where the Banshees are maybe a little bit too brittle or they don't have the energy for the Cloak. I mean, that is just a really smart and clever addition that I feel like I haven't seen before in TVZ, or if I have seen it, they didn't do as good a job of keeping those Banshees alive as GuMiho did in that game. I mean, those two initial Banshees, we were at like 5 expansions on the Zerg side, and the Banshees, the initial Banshees, were still getting value, killing double-digit drones. That is so rare in TVZ. It's usually one of those units where it's very strong in the opening, and then eventually it drops off, and usually, because it's a lower priority, you might just trade it for some more kills. You might be a little bit clumsy trying to control something else and not dedicate your control to the Banshee, but GuMiho just really on top of the micro. And now in game number 3, playing greedy again with the triple CC.
I wonder if it's a good idea to do some kind of a Nidus cheese. We didn't have that at all last season. I feel like we always have like at least one game where that comes up. But I mean, I'm looking at this kind of big glaring weakness right now in what GuMiho's doing, and that he can be punished with greed, maybe, or even like maybe not even necessarily a Nidus drop. They're just like, you don't have to just do kind of a macro grind, right, and try to match him. You can actually just circumvent that entirely by trying to get a kill quickly. I don't know. Just throwing that out there.
It's not a bad idea. The one way you really can kill those Cyclones is if you corner them. The problem is that it is unbelievably hard to actually corner them because they're so quick, and you also usually, as the Zerg in that situation going up against Battle Mech, you're not going to have the creep spread you need to get the speed boost to surround the Cyclones, right? You have to play a very Ling-heavy composition maybe, and try and get like a wraparound on the backside of the Cyclones and then attack it with the front of your army. But then there's Mass Hellion, so the Lings are going to die. It's a really difficult composition to fight.
So, I mean, for now, it's just going to be the continued powering here for GuMiho. SHIN, you know, going into this game, I think he's going to have just a better, like, general late game ZVT. It did feel like he was kind of trying to figure out how to fight that in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like the Infestors seemed, it almost in that last game looked like he realized, oh, I can lock this with Infestors, like somewhere while he was getting abused by the Cyclones. So maybe if he plays better this time around, he'll have a preemptive Infestors kind of ready to shut that down. It did seem like, by the way, out of all the kind of builders we have in StarCraft 2, that one takes a while to kind of get set up to where you're ready to end the game. You know what I mean?
The battle mech, you mean?
Battle mech with tanks finally at the end to push. It's quite a build-up.
Yeah, you basically max before you do anything else.
So right now he's trying to just clear creep tumors. You know, the Raven can spot, so you don't even have to scan, which allows you to have more mules back at home. It's all about the Ravens today.
Those creep tumors got replaced in a hurry.
Yeah.
That's like, what, 4 or 5 queens is dropping tumors.
Let's also remember, you know, in the last game, SHIN had a really hard time getting creep spread out.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. There's so many Hellions.
Yeah,
it's just, how do you do it? Especially when the Cyclones come in to assist.
I look at it, a moment like this, he can actually force a cancel.
Yes.
I was about to say, I was like, I wonder if he could throw an auto turret down. You don't normally think of Hellions as things that can kill buildings, you know? Because anytime they have an opportunity, they're going to basically go for drones. But yeah, whenever hatchery just starts, if you just have enough damage, you can actually snowball the damage from, instead of spiking up as it grows in HP, into spiking down.
Oh, so many active creep tumors taken out right there. The creep spread is basically non-existent right now for SHIN. He's connected his bases and nothing more. And through really no fault of his own, GuMiho is just playing this style that has supreme map control at this stage. And so for SHIN, if he wants to try and get that creep spread back to where ideally it would be, it's going to be a lot more taxing for him. Oh, this command center, very boldly placed. That's the 4CC.
Yeah, a little cavalier with that command center, putting it that far out.
But yeah, for SHIN, if he wants to do the creep spread, it's going to have to start like around now. But this is the moment where there's so many things you got to do. Oh wait, Queen's just loaded up. I think he's just going for it. I think SHIN realizes that if he lets himself get whittled down by the battle mech, yeah, it's going to be the same story as game number 1. So at 60 drones, he is cutting workers, he's building roaches and ravagers, a ton of lings coming in. Those are going to be the reinforcements. 4 queens in the taxi.
Now, mag build accelerator is going to finish as this attack hits. So he's got that going for him.
The Cyclone's going to do a lot more damage with their lock-ons now. Queens are dropping. Creep is dropping as well. Hellbat's morphing in, though. That's a lot of HP on those Hellbats. Auto turrets also getting dropped. These SCVs.
I don't think this is going to work at all.
I don't know if there's enough, man. The Cyclones
it's like the Queens are just like stuck over here now. He's going to be able to kill the Overlord. Oh, that was shut down so easily. There's nothing funnier than when you see like a timing attack like that where it's like, okay, he has to make this work right now. And then you see him like kiting away from that. Yeah, good call with the auto turrets, by the way. Anything to just soak a little bit of damage. The Raven, once again, proving so handy today.
Yeah, one of the things about GuMiho, too, in all of these TVZ, or both these TVZ games, is that he has just been so on point with his SCV production. He's basically never cutting. And so he can pull the boys in that situation at the third base and use them to tank. And even if he loses a ton of SCVs, his 3 command centers got online so quick, and he never cut the production, so he can just replace them. You know, like, the economy is still insane here for GuMiho. Blue Flame now coming in. Cloak for the Banshees as well. Siege tanks are slowly getting added.
I feel like when it's going to be GuMiho's turn, it's going to be really hard to deal with this. He's got the 4 tanks, so he might not even need to max out to do this push. But the idea is you basically keep kiting, keep abusing, keep dealing damage, and then eventually the tank's set up, and then you've got a push going on. He's once again moving through here. He's clearing out these creep tumors. SHIN in a lot of trouble right now.
Yeah, the creep spread just keeps getting reset. Hive is underway here for SHIN, so... Oh, I'm scratching my head at what SHIN can do in this situation to try and equalize. It looks like the play right now, it's going to be Infestors. Burrow's getting researched 4 Infestors in production. Maybe if he can get some miracle fungals. He has been really good with the fungals, not just today, but also at DreamHack Dallas. This is something that SHIN has just been shining through with over the past couple of weeks. But the problem is that the Raven is still alive here for GuMiho. So if you're going to be sneaky with the fungals, with the Burrowed Infestor, it just becomes increasingly difficult.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think it's showtime here. He's going to move out. The Banshee is going to come through here and scout. No Infestor to snipe or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, without an okay, there it is. He actually baits out the first fungal.
I like that play there by SHIN.
Yeah. Kind of didn't occur to me. Yeah, you can just fungal the Banshees, actually. Okay, he's going to come through here now with this push. And, I mean, it's now or never. I mean, they're both maxed out. He has to stop this push. It doesn't seem like he's deterred or delayed the tanks at all. The tanks are just going to roll right up to the front of this base and siege up. Here we go.
Oh, great fungal on the Hellbats and the Cyclones. ByuN's also coming in, and then SHIN backs off. I think that's a really smart move. Not as many Cyclones here with this army. And now the Banelings speed is done. They're rolling in. Gonna look for those connections on the Siege Tanks and the Hellbats.
Yeah, that went a lot better there for SHIN.
Wow. He might actually be doing it, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, once those Cyclones aren't here to kite anymore, it's a lot easier for the Zerg to take that fight. So beautifully done here by SHIN. I think the Banes were definitely a smart move. Fungal comboed with Banes is the way.
That went a lot better here for SHIN. Fungal on that. Banshee revealing it. He's gonna need one more though. I'm surprised we don't have an Overseer in this army. This Banshee's gonna kill an Infestor on the retreat. These Siege Tanks also slowly getting picked off right now as GuMiho's retreating all the way back to his triangle third base. I wonder if SHIN just has enough to push through. Look at the unit count. We have 7 Siege Tanks in total. Some of them are bunched up as well. ByuN can be really good on those paired Siege Tanks. SHIN doesn't even need him right now, just powering through right where the Roach is.
Yeah, I think he can actually just start to rally everything over here and probably end the game, right?
There's a lot of production still coming out here for GuMiho. SHIN looking at the reinforcements spring across the map. There isn't that many, so I don't think this is going to be the game-ending blow, but these trades are still really good for SHIN. GuMiho plummeting in supply right now.
Yeah, GuMiho not able to really defend his expansion. These SCVs could very easily be sniped. It looks like the command center may even go down as well. He's going to try to come out here and take this fight now. Hydra's again retreating off of creep. Always a little painful to watch. Well, you know, yeah, I guess he's not going to get that killing blow up. I thought we were going to see this wave of more Zerg units coming out and going. That's so funny. Yeah, instead we're still in this game. Supplies virtually even right now.
Another expansion going to be taken by GuMiho at the 3 o'clock position. Army values also basically dead even. Now the Cyclone count's getting really high. GuMiho's transition kind of out of tanks and back into the battle mech. It feels like that is the first stepping stone, and on that foundation is when you can add the siege tank. Seems to be GuMiho's philosophy a little bit in this matchup.
So, yeah, I mean, the game suddenly has quieted down quite a bit. We've got Vipers in play here as well. And I guess from GuMiho's perspective, all he can really try to do is wind up and do another attack. But SHIN's definitely shown us he has, you know, a more stable solution to this. It's the combination of Infestors. Nice, he gets the Banshee. Combination of Infestors with the Banelings. Extremely strong.
Yeah, it's going a lot better for SHIN here in this game. This Planetary just a little bit too late. It's going to mean a lot of SCVs go down. But still, GuMiho sitting at 74 workers. He has just been so on point with the SCV production. I feel like I keep seeing SHIN get in these positions where he's killing, you know, 5, 6 SCVs at a time, whether it be at the 3rd base, at the 5th base. And I look down at the workers count, it's still basically dead even, which is insane against a Zerg, right? I mean, the economy for GuMiho is just through the roof.
Yeah, he's looking extremely strong.
Max again, basically on pure battle mech, by the way. He only has 2 siege tanks, 1 Raven. The rest of his supply is SCVs, Hellions, and Cyclones.
It's kind of crazy, man. Again, it's such a different type of game. It's almost like you're playing a whole other race right now with this unit composition. Like, I wonder how many other players actually ever do this besides GuMiho.
Cyclones are the 4th race.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to come in over here, and I mean, look, this is a slow Zerg army. I don't know if he's going to be able to save this in time. Even an auto turret up here to soak.
And I love that GuMiho, through all this, always keeps 1 Raven with these armies.
Yeah,
clear and keep
so
as
good.
he moves. And
here
now
we go. That abuse is being dealt again over here. Yeah. Vipers not really doing a whole lot. This other base down here, it's at half health. which means it's going to die real fast.
8 Broodlords in production right now. Good abducts right there. Going to be able to get a lot of these Cyclones there on the front line. Only one of them able to escape, but the damage being dished out by those Cyclones barely, barely taking out that hatchery. And now SHIN, he's down to 3 bases tasteless. He does have these not these Overlords, he has these Broodlords, but they're so slow.
I feel like you can just avoid the Broodlords, right? I mean, oh my God. Mass execution over there.
Not even the drones are safe.
Yeah, he's got to stay away from those broodlings.
This army that you see with SHIN is basically what you get. He's only just now retaking that 3rd base, or retaking now the 4th base.
Yeah, GuMiho has so much of the map, but again, you know, you can kind of just avoid the Broodlords. Like, I don't see why, like exactly like this. Just keep counterattacking.
You can even just go for a base trade, basically.
Yeah,
attack like the 5 o'clock position, attack the 7 o'clock position, take those expansions out.
He's going to pop this hatchery. There's no way this is going to be saved.
And just looking at the minimap again, the creep spread is just crazy. And also, you know, these abducts, they are fantastic here for SHIN. He's getting value with these Vipers, but the issue is the units being abducted are very easily replaced. And they're Cyclones. And GuMiho's on 80 workers. So we just see SHIN kind of sharking around the map, trying to basically corral these Cyclones into a position where he can force a fight. And GuMiho just keeps skirting around. He might go back to SHIN's triangle 3rd base and take that one down instead.
I think that's exactly.
Oh no, he's going to find the Vipers instead. Some good lock-ons are able to get at least one of them. The second one with the scan confirming the kill.
Yeah, now these Broodlords coming in here and hitting this base. We've got a lot. Okay, so he's going to have the medevac with the Thor here. He's going to pick that up and probably go right underneath those broods.
This is so many Thors.
It's crazy. All right, he once again comes in here. And I don't know if there's anything that can actually protect this. You know, the Hydras are just not that fast.
And even with a repair right now in the Planetary Fortress, these Broodlords are just really struggling to take this expansion down. Meanwhile, GuMiho is expanding to the entire top left side now.
Oh my God, he's gonna run to the main.
He's gonna lose these Cyclones, but back at home, he's already got 9 Thors.
Yeah.
More, I'm sure, are in production.
And I think it's gonna be a 1-2 punch. I think he's just gonna come out and be able to push it and kill this. The Broodlords are not gonna be a threat anymore. This is always, since the dawn of StarCraft 2, I've always noticed this, like when the Broodlords come out, there is this inherent problem where like, you could just run away from them and hit somewhere else.
Wait, we're about to have 9 Infestors for SHIN with Neuroparasite. Is there a world where he's able to take over these Thors?
That would be insane. That would
have
be
a winning fight?
insane.
Okay, got 1 Siege Tank, able to take down one of these Infestors. SHIN. Neuroparasite, I think it's not yet done. Blindcloud is gonna buy some time. Nice micro there with GuMiho on the medevac.
The thing is, I think that he's going to be able to take over these after the damage has already been done. Like, the hatchery's already gone. Something's happening in the main for the Zerg, by the way, too.
Wait, is there another Cyclone in the main or something?
There's like one Hellbat. GG. GuMiho wins that. We got a TDT for our final match. SHIN just did not have an answer for that really creative style coming out of GuMiho.
I mean, it's just so hard to deal with. Battle Mech is so strong right now. I like the out-of-the-box thinking there for SHIN, going for the Neural Parasite, identifying there's probably going to be a Thor transition, but in the end, just GuMiho way too big. Basically had his entire side of the map, a massive army. SHIN's going to be knocked out here in the GSL.
Yeah.
GuMiho advancing to face ByuN in the final match of the night.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You got to give it to GuMiho. He really looks at this game in a very different way. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to play against. It's like, this isn't on brand for what you're supposed to do in this matchup. So hard to stop. Guys, ByuN versus GuMiho coming up next. We will be right back.